People have been very upset over this photo book, and what's going on with it has caused some fan wars. We also have content that people believe to be similar to OnlyFans content in this photo book, and then we have V and his body being shamed. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave. Decide hate it or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Make sure you join us fangirling on Patreon with some free content on Saturdays now, and let's go. V has recently been getting body shamed, and I definitely think that that is very interesting. So if you're not aware of it, he recently put out a photo book, and I definitely want to get into it and talk about it more. But in the photo book, he definitely posted a lot more pictures that were a bit more romantic, whether that is shirtless or whether that is just him being with heart balloons or whatever it is. It's interesting because when he is showing himself being shirtless or without clothes, people tend to either react one of two ways. It's either that people really like it and they're fangirling over this and they think it's really huge, or they're taking this other moment to completely body shame V and attack him by saying that his body is weird or that he looks like he's a twink or whatever it is. Him being called this, definitely I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think it's definitely interesting that they will take a moment to insult someone, because I think it's very brave to put yourself out there. It's so amazing to build an audience, to be loved by a community, and then you see one person online that doesn't do the same thing, who isn't in the industry and isn't making a lot of money, look at someone who is putting themselves out there and insulting them. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And there's a lot of people who are Jimin fans that are attacking V simply because they want JK to be with Jimin and not be with V. So they'll use any opportunity to attack V by saying that he looks bad and that Jimin looks really good, or whatever it is. And I read one post saying that Jimin looks better than V because Jimin is more delicate and dainty or whatever, and I don't know if this is supposed to be a compliment, but typically calling a man dainty is not exactly the best thing to say to them. It doesn't really make someone look better, especially if they're a man, but also woman too. And it's interesting to use that as an argument with V to say that, oh, he doesn't look dainty, so he's not as attractive as Jimin. But I will take that as a compliment actually, because then it shows that he is extremely masculine. Now, of course, I don't think Jimin is dainty, so I think that that is actually an insult to Jimin rather than a compliment to him. But it also concerns me because I hope he doesn't look at these comments, read it, or believe it, that he actually has a bad body or that he looks a certain way and that he may not like. Because I know that that was something that I felt for a really long time. And I didn't really ever show my body on camera or anything like that because I was always insecure about going to the beach or something like that, because it was my family that was telling me that I didn't look very good. So I hope people grow up and they start to learn what is the reality of the world, which is that people come in many different shapes and sizes. And if you're not into a specific shape or size and you don't find it attractive, then you don't have to find it attractive. You can move on and look at someone that you do find attractive. Now, there's also this conversation going around that V has been putting out OnlyFans-like content in the photo book. Now, the photo book has been posted all over social media, so it's definitely very easy to see what type of content is on there. But there have been some pictures of feet. There have been some pictures where V is shirtless, and so a lot of people are saying that this is the type of content that they would get if he started an OnlyFans account. Now, this is a very interesting idea because if V ever started an OnlyFans account, I think even if he just mentioned the word OnlyFans, it would have complete virality and people would be tweeting about it and talking about it. However, the content in the book is very cool, and it has shocked a lot of people that he is putting out this type of content right now. But I think I've mentioned this before, people do grow up, and this is just a part of life. The shirtless pictures are not shirtless for a more raunchy reason, but they're shirtless because that is more of what you would see on him on the day-to-day. Obviously, if he is blow-drying his hair or if he's getting ready in the morning, then he is going to be shirtless because that's just what it is. And there are definitely more romantic pictures that people can frame or print out or whatever they want, and that is the reason why it's in the photo book. Anytime an artist puts out something and it gains a lot of attention within the community, there's going to be a lot of people who don't like it and hate it. So of course there are going to be people who are mocking him for this, and then there are people who are using this as an opportunity to say that he is being slutty or whatever it is. I really don't like this because I really hate when someone puts out something that's kind of fun and that isn't meant to be taken seriously, and the community takes it way too seriously, or they start using it as a way to mock him. And I feel this very deeply because I think a lot of people, whether that is someone who's making content or not, and they do something and the whole point of that thing is to maybe be a joke or maybe for it to not be serious, and there really wasn't any thought behind it other than the fact that, oh, this would be a cool thing for me to make, but like maybe I want to make my money back doing this thing, which maybe that's what V was thinking, and so he makes it and he puts it out, whatever. But then imagine if you do that, but then people take it completely differently, people start mocking you, people are insulting you. Like, it's really sad. I find it genuinely really sad if someone were to do that to me. And the whole point of why I created this thing was to literally just because I wanted to have it and wanted it to exist. And I hope one day any of us can feel, including them, the BTS boys, feel okay with putting out whatever content they want and it not being because they want it to get a lot of attention or even if they just want it to be praised, but they're doing it solely for the reason of just wanting this thing to exist so they can look back on it 20 years from now. Now, there's a lot of controversy within the Photobook because it's brought a shipping rumor. Now, if you're unaware, JK and Jimin have been in a shipping rumor for their travel show. Now, the community is looking for things to associate with JK and V to say that they are dating and they want to bring up proof of that. So in this Photobook, apparently there was a photo where V was sitting on the couch and you could see him with a Hello Kitty stuffed animal. Now, people have taken this moment in a previous live stream that JK did, or maybe this was a vlog, and you could see that same Hello Kitty stuffed animal on his couch. From this, people think that the two are actually dating and that this is a real relationship. Now, I didn't see any person say exactly why they thought that, but obviously you can imagine why they think that because you see a Hello Kitty on both their couches. You probably think that they're either in the same house or apartment, or they both bought the same thing for each other, or they're sharing that one. And either one of these would probably imply some sort of romantic relationship. However, this is definitely one of the more odd theories that I've read, just because you see two people are having the same stuffed animal or toy that they must be together, even sharing it, because the fact of the matter is it's Hello Kitty. It's a name brand. They could have been endorsed by this brand. All of the members could have had their Hello Kitty in their apartment, or also just the fact that because they're friends, they must have exchanged gifts with each other. They must have given things. It could have very much been that V was realizing that JK needed a birthday gift and decided to give him one that he saw, or it happened the other way around. Of course, the idea of them having a toy and share between each other, between the members, or even gift or reuse gifts from one member to the other, that's not strange. That's definitely not conducive of a dating rumor. At the most, I think it implies that the two have an interest in Hello Kitty, or that they saw the same doll at the store together and they were hanging out as friends. They both decided to buy one because they both thought it was really cute. The dating rumor is such an odd theory because it makes me think the people who came up with this is not someone who has friends, and that makes me kind of sad because if you have any friends, you'll quickly realize that friends will leave possessions or give possessions that were their own to their friend all the time. And I have a bunch of things that I kept or was given from a friend that was theirs and now it's mine, and it's not really a romantic thing at all. Some people believe that it was this moment where people saw Hello Kitty that would be a gay moment in the Photobook. And this moment could mean that the two are together romantically and that he confirmed it. And again, as I said, that's pretty ridiculous. I don't think that's true at all. I think it's very interesting to make this assumption because I don't think that it's based on anything. And these assumptions aren't just in K-pop and that's it. Assumptions are usually followed by death threats, they're followed by attacks and all of these sort of things. So when we make assumptions, we essentially are kind of creating this breeding ground for backlash against the artist. So this is why I like to appeal or promote the opposite idea, because if we see one side and one extreme, we definitely should see the other side and the other extreme. And then maybe our mind can kind of go towards the middle where we're like, okay, maybe it's a little bit of both actually. In this case, I don't think it's a little bit of both in terms of dating, but in this case, I think when people say, oh, Hello Kitty must be a gift, or it must mean that they're in the same apartment together. But then people aren't thinking about this idea that it could just mean that both of them have one. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks, just love it, comment right here. I love you. Bye.